Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Q&A show on Inside the Birds platform, YouTube channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to all the fans, to Adam and Jeff for making this possible. Birds kick butt again, headed to the Super Bowl. That's huge. Q, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? We did it, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I've been walking on sunshine all day since yesterday, man. Today, it's been awesome, man. Great feeling. Good to see you, my man.
Always good to see you. The Birds doubted, always critiqued fans, us, everyone against all odds and against, the standard way of the modern NFL. The Eagles have turned back the hands of time and have changed the way that we've thought about football in so many aspects, especially when it comes to a running back offensive line led team. Jalen does his part 100%, but have basically turned this into a 1990s football team where it's predicated on the offensive line and the running back. Saquon resetting the value for the entire NFL and the value at running back all in 1 year.
Crazy.
Crazy, right? So, and Jalen has come out multiple times, him and Nick multiple times over the last few weeks as they're going back to the Super Bowl and winning in the playoffs, said, hey, listen, you guys want us to play quarterback the way you want us to play quarterback. You want us to be worried about stats. We're worried about wins. And it's rang true for this particular team. They're the outlier, and they're the outlier for so many different reasons. And when you are the innovator or re-innovation, I guess, of a system that we hadn't seen in a while, there's going to be critique and there's going to be skepticism. And so our team has stuck to their convictions of how they want to play the game, and has led to them going back to the Super Bowl. And this is a formula that can win the bowl.
Sir.
Yeah.
That's it. Defense, run the ball, turnovers. That type of game travels anywhere.
It travels anywhere. Exactly. All right. Let's talk about this. All right. So couple stats, couple things that you need to know, Q. I don't know if you saw this. The past 19 quarterbacks that have debuted it in the Super Bowl and lost have never made it back again.
Wait, say that again?
The past 19 quarterbacks that have debuted in the Super Bowl and lost have never made it back again. Jalen is the first one out of in the past 19 that have made it. He's the first one since Jim Kelly with the Bills.
Wow. That's a cool stat, man.
And on that list is some really good quarterbacks. Donovan McNabb. I don't have the list in front of me.
Rex
Matt Ryan,
somewhere, right?
Yeah, Matt Ryan. There's some guys there that are some players on that list, and just Cam Newton hadn't been able to get back to it.
Wow.
So Jalen's letting people know, like, hey, listen, this is no fluke. I'm here to stay. I worry about winning, and so that's a good sign.
That's good, man. That's refreshing to know that.
Yeah. All right. Eagles crushed the Commanders 55-23 NFC Championship game, made the Super Bowl second time in the past 3 years or 2 years. And they played the Kansas City Chiefs again. Will there be any other way? And everybody that kept saying the Bills year, and I'm tired of the Chiefs. Listen, it's hard to beat that team. The Chiefs know what they're doing in those moments. They got over 120 years of coaching experience, right? So that team is going to be well prepared. And then you have the best player in football in Patrick Mahomes. So they're always going to be there. So the Eagles get a chance to right their wrong. And it's reminiscent of the Eagles' opportunity that they had again versus the Patriots. Went to Jacksonville, lost that Super Bowl. Q, you were on that team, I believe.
Yep.
Lost that Super Bowl game to the Patriots. Definitely played well enough to win the game. A few mistakes late in the ball game cost you guys that game. Then they were able to be in a similar situation with the game on the line, made the game-winning plays with Nick Foles to beat the Patriots. Now it's only fitting, only the NFL season can write a story like this, where the Eagles get another opportunity to right the wrongs of the past against a team that's on its way or trying to win 3 straight Super Bowls, which no team has done in NFL history. So the Eagles will be that team that knocks off a dynasty, and in Philadelphia fashion, no one likes us. We don't care.
Cam, you can't. I mean, the script writers, the NFL script writers, they was in their bag on this one.
Right?
But yeah, I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a tremendous spectacle. Get to see Kendrick Lamar at halftime, so I'm excited for that too.
Oh, no, I am not excited about that.
What?
Oh my gosh, I am not excited about a Kendrick Lamar halftime. Are you kidding me?
You must be a Drake fan, man.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with Drake. Drake is a better artist, but I would rather see Drake than Kendrick Lamar. You know why? Because Drake has songs where he actually sings and have people around him that sing. And guess what? In the Super Bowl, it's not just R&B music. Singing actually makes other people sing. When you sitting there rapping, what kind of show is that? Dude sitting on stage. Man, we want to see Bruno Mars out there dancing and Beyonce out there dancing. You know what I mean? It's a show. It ain't a sit there and watch a dude with a microphone too. Rap should not be a part of the Super Bowl.
Come on, man.
I sound like Bad News Bears, huh?
You sound like my grandfather, man.
I'm just saying, based on the numbers, like look at the Super Bowl numbers when they had Dr. Dre, Eminem, and that whole Super Bowl. It was down in halftime show views in the least watched Super Bowl in like the last 15 years.
That's fair enough.
I'm just saying. So I ain't happy about that, but I'm happy about the birds.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I'm excited for everything. This is gonna be awesome. It's kind of either way. I feel like in a way, obviously we want the Eagles to win, but it's kind of it would be bittersweet kind of situation if the Chiefs do end up winning, because seeing Andy get 3 in a row, never been done before. It'd be cool to see that.
Not so fast, my friend. You know I'm an Andy fan.
Yeah, I know that.
You know I'm an Andy fan. I played for the Chiefs too, but I want the Eagles to beat the hell out of them this time. I really do. I didn't think in all fairness, the last time we had this show and the Eagles were going there, my gut feeling was that the Chiefs were going to win the game. Just because of it's going to be tough to beat a coaching staff that has that much experience with those players, even though Eagles team I felt was better. So they're going into a situation but I think that the talent level in the key positions, offensive line, defensive line, the way that we have weapons on the outside, and how we can cover. Like, I just think that our team is so much better than them. So I don't think that the coaching can make up the difference between the players.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what can, though?
What?
Them 7 striped jerseys.
Oh, my gosh. Are you
Listen,
one of those?
You
Are
know,
you one of those
I'm
conspiracy
100%. It's
theorists?
11 plus 7.
Oh my gosh! Don't start that.
18. So you play. So it's 11 on 18.
So,
Did you watch the Bills game? Did you see that? Come on, man.
dude, you
So we
talking
just
about
gotta be
the one?
prepared.
The only call that I saw the Bills game that was questionable was the spot. That was a spot. The spot. The catch was the catch. That was a catch. The tie goes to the receiver. The ball didn't move, even though the tip of it hit the ground.
Fair.
Once the ball don't move, it don't move.
That's fair.
But did not the Bills have multiple opportunities in that game to win that game?
They did.
Come on, y'all.
That's
Come
fair.
on.
But to the two critical situations. The first was the third down catch, right? I thought it was a first down. They marked it short, and then he was clearly, what you call it was. Why am I blanking on his name? Right now?
Josh Allen behind the line
Allen was clearly across.
I thought that was one. But here's the thing: every game is like that. The Eagles got that. The Eagles got one of those too. The Commanders cut the lead in that game and was in position before halftime to right after halftime. Right after halftime, I think they cut the lead before Orion Burks' knockout. Cut the lead down. Was in position on a legal man. They had 2 men 4 yards in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like 2 of them. Like, and it stood. They didn't call it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you get that. Teams get it. Some people cry about it. Some people overcome it.
But I'm just saying, man, this is a team that don't need no help, man. They got, like you said, 150 years of coaching experience. They got the number 1 quarterback in the league. Like, just like, I keep seeing in my head, I keep seeing the meme on Instagram with Pinkman from Breaking Bad. Like, he can't keep getting away with this.
Listen. If the Eagles gonna go in there to New Orleans and beat the Chiefs, they gotta dominate the football game. Here's the thing. Here's another stat. Within games that are decided by 7 points or less, like within that last 2 minutes or so, whatever it is, like 7 points or less on that last 2 minutes, I can't remember exact stat. Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback in history that's ever been in that situation in the playoffs where he's 7 for 7. He's been in that situation 7 times. 2 minutes or less, with the game on the line, ball within 7, game within 7. He has never lost in that situation.
Wow.
He's Brady is the greatest of all time, and he's like 48%. Just think of that.
That's impressive. That is.
So here's the thing. Don't let it come down to that. When you got an opportunity to step on his neck, you step on his neck.
That's real.
You know what I mean? Like the Buccaneers did when they beat the Chiefs. They stepped on their neck the entire game.
Yep. All right.
All right, here let's get into this last one because we got kind of ahead right there.
Yeah.
All right. What you're thinking? What you're thinking here? This is a good time to put it all in perspective. The Eagles were 2-2 and looking vulnerable on defense and very average on offense going into the bye week. Now they're in the Super Bowl. How amazing was this turnaround from the bye week until now? What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. This little run that they've hit, just the team is focused. They're coached well. They're playing physical. They're playing through injuries. They're executing the game plan. Which, by the way, we got to give Nick Sirianni's flowers, man, because 4 years, 2 Super Bowl appearances, not a losing record. I mean, just top to bottom, man, this team is just amazing, and they're well coached. Like I said, how we put together a phenomenal roster, so much depth, so much experience, and even when things were like we were talking about, even when they didn't look great, they still were winning games, right? I mean, that just goes to show you how much depth and how much talent this team has, and what they could do when they're firing on all cylinders. So just kudos to this team. Kudos to the coaching staff, to the GMs, everybody. I mean, it's just this team looks amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nick definitely gets his. He's at this point of his career is the leader for his number of years and wins. Like, so like the number of wins that Nick has accumulated in his first 5 years as the head coach is unbelievable. He's been to, this will be the second Super Bowl in 3 years, which is unheard of, with no Jason Kelce, with no Fletcher Cox, with a new crop of players where they're able to weed out. That's something to do with Howie as well in the organization. They're making the right moves, and even when they miss this year, they missed big with Bryce Huff. It could have cost them.
Yeah.
But what they did was, okay, we're going to get Nolan Smith prepared. Jalen Carter is a stud. Josh Sweat is solid, right? So they're making moves, and they're able to overcome some bad decisions as well. So you're not going to get them all right, but if you get enough of them right, you'll be just fine. Like them getting in the last 2 drafts, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Carter, Quintin Mikell, Cooper DeJean. Like, these are all starters for you. Like, when you go in your last 2 drives, your last 2, or Nolan Smith, you go in your last 2 drives and you end up with 5-6 starters, you're doing good.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're doing really, really good for yourself. And then you pick up on, and this is what makes it a really good team. It's not the first and second round picks, it's the ones that shouldn't pan out. Like a free agent Reed Blankenship pans out.
Zach Bond.
A Zach Bond that's basically a special teams player. It works out. So when you start to get those, Jordan Mailata, who's drafted really late in the draft, but it ended up panning out. So there's a lot of Mekhi Becton, who was written off, moving from tackle to guard. Like, these are a lot of good moves in 1 or 2 years. Is unbelievable. Like, not just good, unbelievably good.
Yeah.
You in the draft, in your drafts, the last couple of years, you've gotten Landon Dickerson, you've gotten Cam Jurgens, you've gotten all the guys I just mentioned on defense. Like, you're batting Grant Calcaterra, you're batting 1,000 right now.
Yeah.
And this is after missing on Justin Jefferson. This is after missing on Micah Parsons. This, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's some good players that we could have got.
Yeah.
The Eagles handling business. And Nick Sirianni, for all the things that we say about him, the dude, he has them inspired to play.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Doesn't always make sense to me. I can't point to the thing that says, oh, he does this great. I know what he does great is figure out, like, have the guys prepared to play, and they're able to win despite not playing their best.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. That's my long.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you want to get into the
let's get into the
question? All right. So here's the first question for you. Jalen. So in this last game, what really stood out about JalenHurts' play? Some people were out there. Some people were saying, this was his best game of the year. So what stood out for you?
I don't think it was his best game of the year. I thought it was. It's gonna be in top 3 for me. They understood this game plan, and they understood when and where the Commanders would do things. Like, it was obvious from the beginning of the game until the end of the game that they had a beat on the rhythm of the defensive play call. So my man, what's his name? The defensive coordinator,
Not Witt.
No, I got it. I got it right here. Hold on. Witt. That's his name.
Yeah, it was okay.
Witt. His name is Witt, defense coordinator for. They came out and said, "Hey, we're gonna hit JalenHurts like a running back and all." Man, shut your damn mouth. If you don't, you gotta be the dumbest. How are you gonna be talking stuff and you 30th ranked defense in the league like y'all like some killers out there? Y'all got a lucky shot on the guy when he was headed down and y'all able to get him out of the game. Now y'all some gangsters. Man, y'all can't stop a nosebleed. And you on your way to get fired. You put more attention on yourself. You about the dumbest man.
That was a stupid move.
You want a superior football team to be sedated, not motivated. You want them to just be in a place where they don't think you good and then you can catch them off guard. You don't want to be out there poking at a lion when you a weasel. Shut, that was dumb.
That was stupid.
Yeah, and you say you want to get that team motivated? Like the Eagles, that's the last team in the league that you want to motivate. Because one, you're talking to Debo. You're talking to Debo. Unless you Craig and got some bricks and a lucky punch, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna lose that matchup most of the time. You know what I mean? Because that's Debo. The Eagles bully people, and you're not the bully people type. We're running the ball right at you.
Yep.
So get back to my point. The Eagles had a really good game plan for Jalen to get the ball out of his hands, and they had a really good beat on the defensive coordinator and when they would call things. So Jalen was so decisive in his reads. I counted one time, but two times I thought he could have got the ball out of his hand, and he held it, but he ended up throwing one away. So he got the ball out of his hand extremely well. He was so decisive, and it was evident. It was one play where Dallas Goedert got the ball on a hitch route left side. The Bobby Wagner was within like 2 yards of him, but Jalen was so on time and knew he was going to be open that the ball was out. AJ Brown on the sideline, and that's the thing that I liked about Jalen, that this game is that he was super decisive because he was comfortable with what he was seeing on the back end. And when he's comfortable with what he's seeing, he's already one of the most efficient passers in the league. But if he sees it and knows what you're doing and you're not confusing him, you can cancel Christmas.
Yep.
And that's what I thought and that's what I want from Jalen in the Super Bowl that's coming up. Jalen, study as much tape as you can, bro. Study as much tape as you can on every look, not just the past 4 games. Go out through their season and prepare for what they have in their entire repertoire so you can be comfortable and letting the ball go like you were this last game. He was so comfortable because he knew exactly what they were doing, that nobody can stop him if he understands the game mentally. So it's on Jalen to know exactly what the Chiefs are doing so he can play like he did this past game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got any response to that?
Yeah, no. I mean, we can kind of, the next question we'll kind of hit into it.
Okay.
And we'll just roll into it. So
okay. All right. So this one's for you though, right?
Yeah.
All right. The 31-yard pass to AJ Brown on 4th down was 4th and 5. What part? Hold on. Let me read that over. The 31-yard pass to AJ Brown on 4th down was part one of the game's momentum swings. Were you surprised they went for it there and how conservative they've been all season? What did Jalen and the offense see from Washington's defense?
Yeah. So, and we'll just kind of continue this conversation about Jalen. I wasn't surprised that they went for it. I think the momentum they had, the Eagles had the momentum. They're moving the ball. The Commanders had just went down and scored. So, towards the end of the half, you're getting the ball second half. So I really wasn't that surprised that they went for it. That play for the Commanders was doomed from the start. If you remember, they were in cover 1. AJ started to the right. shifted over to the left. Lattimore went with them. Okay, so just to your point, like you said, once Jalen sees that single high corner going over with motion, he knows he got one-on-one outside. So I guarantee you he was like, oh, bet? Okay, let's go. So the two things that actually made things worse for Lattimore, okay, when the shift happened, he goes over with AJ in the shift. A lot of times, as me as a defensive back, if there's movement, I do not want to move into press because they can snap it at any point, and it could be a situation where as soon as you're moving up, they're snapping in the receiver's running by you, all that, right? So he goes over with them in motion, decides to come up and press. Now I know for a fact AJ and Hurts are licking their chops because Lattimore, he's a good player. He's getting older. He's slowing down. There's no way he can hang out with AJ one-on-one outside. And on top of all that, right? Terrible press technique. Tried to stay square, got his eyes in the backfield, and just got routed up. So that play was from the very beginning was doomed for the Commanders. And I thought that right there, that play in the first play of the game, or not the first play, but the first touchdown in the game, were the two plays that it was the
offensive play.
The toss crack, yeah. Those two plays single-handedly broke the Commanders back. And I wasn't surprised, but that was a tremendous play from Jalen. Tremendous throw, right on the money. And it really kind of set up the scoring run, set up the turnover run, and set up everything for the rest of the game for this team.
Yeah. I agree with that. I just want to just add this little tad bit to that. AJ had press, and what makes AJ kind of a dangerous guy is that he doesn't have to win with quickness. He doesn't have to win that most receivers have to do. They have to make you move. He can win with strength. Yep. And he won that with size and strength. Lattimore is a smaller guy. He basically got it into his chest and just and pulled him. Like it was so subtle. He got the outside shoulder and with his inside arm just yanked him forward a little bit toward him. And now he's passing. And he did it so quick. He got up to him, shook, pop, and just pulled him, and that was it. It was over. And when you have a guy like that, it's very, very hard to guard because he can win with quickness. He can win with subtlety or sleight of hand, and then he can just overpower you. Like that means that he has so much margin for error. Like, so follow me here. Most receivers, they get up toward the line of scrimmage and their initial move doesn't work. They're done. Yep. Right. So they go for an outside move. The guy sits inside. They're done because they can't get back out. AJ Brown doesn't have that problem. You know why? Because if his first move doesn't work, he can muscle you for the second one. So he gets like multiple lives, like a cat, when you have like that many ways to get open. He's like, oh, okay, I lost the line of scrimmage. Let me just grab and pull this dude so I can win again. So I put myself back in position. You know, It's not unfair.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, dude, I am not going to press AJ Brown. Like, I'm gonna play off. You go ahead and catch that slant. I'm gonna come up and try to tackle you. I ain't.
Yeah, that's what. But they were playing for the slant. Everybody's been playing for the slant. So it's more likely that he probably was sitting there inside too because he thought he was gonna break that slant off.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Let's move on. So Jay, how did the Eagles create opportunities for Dallas Goedert? And should the passing offense be funneled through him in the Super Bowl?
The Eagles did a good job of doing like flat play action nakeds and just leaking him out as the number. Everyone should do that, but it works better. And we've been talking about this. Have we not been talking about this?
Yeah.
Right. Because we talked about that the Eagles game is disjointed. The offense is disjointed because they don't marry the run game with the play action. And all you do is create a little bit of movement. We saw it the starting of last week when they were doing the nakeds, and all the nakeds were successful until they did it the 6th time at the end of the game to the left, right? so finally they the Rams stopped one. So it's been successful. So now they're starting to do it, and it's wide open. So Dallas is that guy. One thing that Dallas is doing, so they're giving the ball and they're freaking that Dallas is a weapon, giving the ball in jet sweeps, giving them the ball in the flat routes off the nakeds. The tight end is always going to be the number one read. And then another thing that Dallas does extremely well is the screen game. But this particular game, the thing that I noticed most is that the coaching point was, okay, when you catch the ball in the flat, don't turn over your right shoulder, just go straight. Or don't turn over your outside shoulder, turn in and go vertical. And he was killing them with that. No matter if he was on the sideline, in the middle of the field, it was no wasted movement left and right. He just drop step with the inside foot and went straight up the field and was breaking them off for what should have been a 5-yard gain. It was getting 12. So like little things like that was pretty good. But I thought it was their attention to detail to create or to add more play action or more naked bootlegs to the game plan, which benefits Dallas Goedert. Yeah. And do I think that he should be? I think that this should always be a part of the game plan.
Agreed.
And if this is always a part of the game plan, he's going to get more touches, and Dallas is going to rumble for a few by himself.
Yeah. And I also feel like Jalen's game is like he has better games when he's throwing to Dallas, especially early.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of a comfort thing, and it kind of gets him rolling a little bit. So I do agree with you on that too.
The only way that he can do that is if he studied up, though.
Yeah.
Like with this game, like Jalen was so good with this game plan. Remember, for some reason, when I'm talking to fans or people come up to me or message me, it's like, "Hey, Jason, you're an Eagles hater," or blah blah blah. Like because I tell the truth, and I'm not going to be partial because it's the Eagles. I love the Eagles. I'm partial in that I want them to win, but I'm not partial when it comes to my assessment of them. Like I'm going to give you the honest truth. I'm not going to give you some half-asses because I want them to win. So to say all of that, the Eagles, when Jalen, let's take this game plan as it's his own entity. It doesn't carry over. This Commanders game is the Commanders game. The Rams game is the Rams game. And so though Jalen played well this game, and though he probably didn't play as up to his standard in the Rams game, it's all a new slate going forward. But there is the residue of success that can take place. Okay, how is Jalen able to be successful? He understood exactly what the game plan was, and he was comfortable with what the Commanders were giving him defensively, and it caused him to be great. Coaches and Jalen have to be able to do the same thing with the Chiefs, no matter how much tape it is for him to see from now on. Like I'm taking 2 games a day so I can go over this and understand it, so I can be super comfortable with the game plan going forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Let's go to this one, Q. With the Chiefs up next, any concerns about the way Washington moved the ball with Zach Ertz in the short and an intermediate passing game?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about Ertz. I mean, tremendous player at the end of his career, slowed down quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
He went 11 receptions for 104 yards. Earlier in the game, we saw Cooper DeJean on his side more often. And, Cooper was able to take Jalen's eyes, or Jaden, I keep calling him Jaden Daniels' eyes away from Ertz. What we saw towards the second half and a little bit in the second part of the second quarter,
Mm-hmm.
they started moving Ertz around and getting him on linebackers, getting him matched on safeties. And we've got to figure out a better way to cover it. I mean, it was CJ one time. It was Reed a couple times. It was Burks a couple times. And it's so simple. A lot of the situations that they happen, especially the second half, the Eagles were in cover one, right? So straight cover one, whole player. If the technique is supposed to be taught when you have a whole player as a safety coming down, you have help on the inside, so you play outside. I never ever like doing that because it's such an easy release for the tight end, and it's an easier throw on the inside breaking route for the tight end. They need to teach Reed. If you're coming down in man to man, you've got to be inside shade on every tight end, especially against the Chiefs, because we know you, Kelsey gonna have a field day with all that field in the middle, all that open air in the middle of the field.
So
So
you want him to
they've
have
got to
inside leverage on with the whole player?
absolutely. If you
So
go back
so
and
so
watch
so, so you saying you want him to be inside, even though you don't want him to win outside, but the shade should be inside.
yes, absolutely, because it takes
So
away.
it's a
It
mind.
takes
It's a. You saying this is a mental thing? It's like it kind of
no.
deters. You're saying it's a deter.
I think it's more of a scheme thing. All right.
Okay,
So
okay.
let's put it this way. All right. So it's cover one, right? So the whole player, the way the Eagles were playing it, because there's sometimes they were down in the
Mm,
five-man front, right? So the whole player, which was a couple times was Zach, and a couple times it was Burks. The whole player is getting taken out because they're flaring in the back. Okay.
oh,
So
okay.
now if I'm coming down outside and I'm expecting help, but this back
Don't.
doesn't block like the Eagles are expecting, he releases.
Here is
That's
this
that's pulling that back route. So now you got a huge, wide
huge,
open
wide
gap.
open. Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
you're saying
So
okay.
it's a
You so
simple fix.
go ahead. Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, no, I
No,
was just
no.
saying it's a simple fix. Just if you're walking down, if you're trying to show two shell and you're walking down in the man-to-man coverage, just a little bit inside, right? You almost want to play, especially versus a slow tight end. You almost want to play it almost like a trail, right? You want to sit on a half inside of the tight end. If they
Mm,
did that easily, 3 or 4 of those catches were gone. The
mm.
one with CJ, man, I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, it was straight man across the board. Um,
Oh, I knew it right away. You talking about in red zone?
no, I'm talking about it was like the 20-yard corner route on the sideline that Ertz caught.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Um, it was a bunch set. So I don't know if CJ was expecting. It was expecting. Why am I blanking, man? My brain is like fried right now. I'm still excited from
No, you're fine.
the
Go.
game. I think he was. I think CJ was expecting Darius, expecting Slay to banjo it. So it was
Oh,
almost like a
okay.
scissor route.
Yeah.
But you got to talk that pre-snap, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know, just little things like that they've got to get that lined up because, as we know, Kelsey's can be very, very dangerous. We know that. We know, he can break games open, and he can make critical plays in critical times. And
Mm.
so, I, Mahomes,
You're
we
cooking
can't
right
give him
now.
we can't give him
I
any
love this.
opportunities.
Yeah, I love this detail, and yeah, so I really do. I love the detail. Because I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
go take a look at it. Yeah,
yeah, no, it makes sense. I didn't understand what you were saying from the having inside leverage. You said when they pull it because you can pull underneath the fender, and so now I get it.
yeah.
So no, yeah, so it's kind of go ahead. Were you finished?
And then just I'm gonna add one more thing to your
Mhm.
point, right? If you're taking away the inside leverage, I feel like Reed, Cooper, uh, CJ, they're all fast enough to be able to run on a corner route by Kelsey or Ertz, right? So why not take away the easy throw, force them to throw the corner route, the outside throw, and then you just run under it. So that's just the way I look at it.
Okay, no,
Makes sense.
it makes sense. Ertz, no problem. 11 catches, 107 yards. It's you getting paper cut.
Yeah.
Is it unfortunate? Yeah, because a lot of those were some fourth down conversions. You don't want those. And I thought that a few of those, um, a few of those, I thought that they respected the speed a little bit too much.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, you got to understand your personnel, your abilities as a player, and also the opposing player. So Kelsey can run better than Ertz. So I get that if it's Kelsey, but you respected Ertz's speed too much. And yeah, I can play underneath and sit. I'm sitting on 5-yard stuff with him, 6-yard stuff with him. And if you go over the top, Jaden, you got to throw it over me.
Yep.
Right? Like you said. So I agree with that. But here's the thing. You give Kelsey that many opportunities, he's not going to average 10 yards a catch.
Nope.
I'm saying that he won't, but in one-on-one situations like that, the dude makes people miss, and that's his best quality. His best quality is not catching. His best two qualities: getting open, number one, and then his yards after catch. Yep. That's what he does. So you're going to have to limit that. But again, let's keep it 100. Ertz is not considered the Commanders' number one threat, which is totally different.
True.
With the Chiefs in the passing game, that's their number one threat. So the defensive coordinator is going to scheme for Kelsey. The defense coordinator is not scheming for Zach Ertz. They'll scheme for Terry McLaurin.
True.
But they're not going to scheme for Zach Ertz because they're going to say, okay, if we give him 10 catches, his 10 catches won't be enough to beat us. If you give Travis Kelce 10 catches, his 10 catches probably going to beat you.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah.
You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I take it from that standpoint.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Good job though. What else we got?
Let's see. All right.
All right, this one's for you.
Are you sure?
Go ahead. No, which one? Where we at? No, you go ahead.
I'm all messed up now.
Yeah, we talked. Let's go ahead. As a former player, what was it like watching Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens go out of the center snaps through injuries? Oh no, sorry. Let's read that over. My reading is terrible tonight. As a former player, what was it like watching Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens gut out the center snaps through injuries?
Yeah, man. I don't know exactly what injuries they had, but just seeing those guys stay in there and gut it out was what it's all about. Sacrificing your body for your team, playing through pain. This entire game, like you said earlier in the show, this entire game just reminded me it was just like a throwback. You got guys, running the ball, playing defense, getting turnovers. You got guys playing through injuries. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff when I was playing. I've seen Doc play through crazy injuries.
Runyon play with a broken back,
broken tailbone, just amazing stuff like that. And so it was really. You can tell it really means a lot to this team. They're doing it for their teammates. And that's the kind of stuff, man, when times get tough, which they will do, in a couple weeks here at some point, the teams that fight through it and they stay together are the teams that are successful. So it was great to see that. Not great to see him hurt, but great to see him fight through it.
No, Landon Dickerson goes out and says, hey, you know what, man? I'll get us through the first half. You get us through second, and we'll work it like that. If both of us are hurt, that's amazing to me. Yeah. That was amazing. It was such a teamwork and team moment. It's like, okay, Cam Jurgens like, hey, I don't feel the best. I'm not in a situation to go. The doctor said I shouldn't go, but I'm going to stay up just in case because Landon Dickerson dealing with some stuff too. All right, so it comes up. Okay, I'll get us home. I mean, like it was almost like one of those war movies where the guy takes you as far as you can go and somebody else is like, I'll take the rest, John. You know what I mean? It was one of those moments. So I love to see it, actually.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, man.
Yeah, and let's hit Saquon just for a second. It's not in our script. Saquon goes crazy again. First play from scrimmage, toss crack. AJ got to do a little bit better job on that crack, but Jordan Mailata, AJ got his body in the way. That's the only thing he has. And if AJ watched that tape, AJ, go in there and put your body on the person. Don't dilly and dally with him because he's going to get knocked over. Your body, because the offensive line is coming too. So AJ does enough, but his guy kind of wins over the top. But the offensive line was moving people already, so Mailata was able to get people caught up in the wash. And AJ ended up going down anyway. I'm like, you're trying to avoid getting hit. You're going to end up getting hit. So you might as well hit somebody first and push them so you don't get hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just, that was funny. And then Zach Ertz on chin, and then Saquon makes two people miss. And the hustle backside, even Jahan Dotson hustling backside, get a late block for him late. Like, everybody's doing their job on that play.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, how about that, right? All week, you watching film of this guy, like, hey, man, we got to gang tackle him, we got to hit him low, we got to do all this game planning, we RPO thinking, studying all these different things and ways to stop him. And on the very first play of a playoff championship game, he goes to the house. That's right. That's a backbreaker right there. Like, they're like, man, coach wouldn't be talking trash in the media. They wouldn't be coming out here like this.
They were coming out like this. Here's the thing. They go down first series, 18 plays, the longest drive for them of the year. Couldn't get it in the end zone. You get 3 points. You went for 2 4th downs. You throwing the kitchen sink. You got people on the sideline. You rushing the quarterback. You annexation of Puerto Rico. You got 3 at the end of it. And then this team come out on the first play. You got to be like, damn, we got to call that fake punt. Dude, and that right there let me know, like, oh, this was over with. This team was just fighting tooth and nail the entire way down, converting 3rd downs, 4th downs, dynamic plays, pinching for yards, breaking a tackle, diving for the 1st down. And the Eagles are like, okay, hold my Gatorade. First play, bam. Oh, that had to be demoralizing.
Oh.
They had like, man, why is it so hard for them? Hard for us, but so easy for them. And but like I said, again, they understood what the Commanders were going to do. Saw that man-to-man coverage, and the best play that you can actually run against man-to-man coverage, especially when there's no blitz, because there was no blitz, they just played man.
Yep.
Is toss crack.
That's correct. Yep.
You're gonna pull one. They pulled one with a motion, verifying that it was man to man. No blitz, no free runners. It's over.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
And ain't no DBs gonna bring him down 1-on-1.
No, it's a wrap. But Saquon did an unbelievable job. Offensive line. Will Shipley averaged 14 yards a carry because of the offensive line. So the offensive line did work. Let's get to defense, Q.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. This first one's for you. When did the Eagles turn into a bunch of Peanut Tillmans with all these punch outs? Is that being coached into them or just natural instincts? They have 9 takeaways in 3 playoff games.
Yeah. I mean,
they're plus 27 in turnover margin right now.
That's crazy. That's phenomenal. It's definitely a point of emphasis. And as you know, man, turnovers, they come in packs, they come in bunches. Mm-hmm. And so, it's definitely a point of emphasis. This time of year, late in the year, cold weather games, it's a huge part of the game. And it's really a big reason why the Eagles had so much success. I mean, anytime you're giving the ball back to the offense 3 or 4 times a game, it can only be good. And so I definitely think it's a point of emphasis. And I mean, not even just on defense, special teams got one too. I mean, it was just
2 games in a row.
Yeah.
On special teams.
Yeah. So keep it up, keep training, whatever drills they doing, keep doing it, right? Because this is one more. This is it. You get 2 or 3 turnovers in this Super Bowl, you put yourself in a good position.
Yeah, and you don't turn it over. You're in a great. And here's the thing that you give the Commanders a lot of credit for what they've done this season. But me, ultimately, I've always said that the Eagles have the superior team, and those that are commenting, they're choosing the Commanders and all this. I'm like, dude, you guys didn't watch the game. My brother has had to send me an apology text, at halftime of the game or at third quarter of the game. He's like, dude, everything you said was true. I was like, yeah. I was like, because you just talk about football, you don't watch it. And basically what I said is that it's very likely that the Eagles don't blow 4 coverages that end up in 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's very likely that that JalenHurts doesn't get knocked out of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that those things, and that Devontae Smith drops pass in the critical situation, and or us miss that many tackles. Like we just played poorly that one game.
Yeah.
And to have 5 turnovers and 6 points in that game.
Yeah.
In this game, we go 4 turnovers and 28 points. So capitalizing off the turnovers was the biggest portion of it. And then the Eagles didn't give them any free lunch. And you could tell by the first series of the game, 18 plays, you had to do all of that. Last time they were blowing coverages left and right, so they didn't have to work hard. So if you make that team work, they weren't able to produce. So basically that was the gist of the point. All right.
All right, next question. With the Chiefs up next, is there any concern about the way Washington moved the ball to Zach Ertz?
I skipped down. I already asked that question.
Oh, yes, you shoot. My bad. Well, where are we at?
I think I asked that question to you. Right?
We did.
Yeah. we're gonna go to the next one. What would be the most important thing for the Eagles defense to do against the Chiefs, who very rarely turn the ball over? Can they win the game if they don't force a turnover?
They can win the game. It's going to be tough. This Chiefs team is very smart, well coached. If you get 1-2 turnovers, it definitely helps. I think the biggest.
You turned the ball over last game. It's able. We're able.
Yeah, that's true.
Good.
I think the biggest thing that this team needs to do is they need to get off the field on 3rd down. Obviously, you want to limit the big plays. Obviously, you want to, get turnovers. But I think this Chiefs team really thrives in 3rd down situations or 4th down. Got to have situations. You got to get them off the field. However, you got to do it. And so, if you can keep Mahomes on the sidelines, keep that offense on the sidelines, get that defense out there, make them work, make them try to cover and tackle Saquon all game, then that's the recipe, in my opinion. That's the recipe for success. You got to get off the field on 3rd down. You have to.
I think that's huge. I think the key is not what the Chiefs do offensively. I think the key is what the Chiefs will do and see defensively. Let me tell you why. And I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but in 3 playoff games thus far, the one thing that the Chiefs do extremely well, we've given up a bunch. We haven't solved this A-gap blitz that we first started seeing with the Packers.
Yeah.
And every team has done it since then. And they do it in a critical area of the game, whether it be in red zone, whether it be on a fringe area to get them out of field goal territory. Multiple run-throughs this past game with Frankie Louvu and the A-gap blitz.
Yeah.
We got to do that because Spagnuolo does that. It's a Jim Johnson thing that was a part of his game plan way back in the day.
Yeah.
And so we have to figure out something for that because that can change the complexion of the ball game. So what we do on 3rd downs for us and in the red zone, how we handle that, to me, will determine the game. I think our defense actually matches up extremely well with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like they have, Marquise Brown, which can run, but he's older.
Yeah. Worthy.
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy.
Worthy's just a different player.
Yeah.
He's a different player. You just got to know that speed. You
Yeah.
got to know that speed and respect it as such. Respect speed and tackle it.
Yeah.
He's not a guy. But here's the thing, though. If you're going to press him, put your hands on him because he $160.
Yeah.
Don't get up in front of that dude and think you're going to run with him.
No.
That would piss me. Nothing would piss me off more than that. is for you to press him and not touch him. All right. So if you're not gonna press him, or if you're not gonna touch him, don't press him.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep that. But understand that speed. So Xavier Worth, but Hopkins, jump ball player. He needs a perfect throw at this point in his career.
Yeah.
He needs a perfect throw. He's not lining up and routing nobody up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think the Eagles match up extremely well with this team, actually defensively. I just think that Chris Jones and the gang, Karlaftis, Dan, like I think that they present problems for us in the passing game. So if they can stop initial run game before Saquon pops one, and they get us in third down situations, I think that Spagnuolo can devise a scheme that can get through. So I think the key to the game for me is what the Eagles do on third downs.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And one more thing too, I'm gonna add defensively what we got to do on third down, critical down situation. When everyone's covered, you've got to have someone assigned to Pat Mahomes so he doesn't get out the pocket and run for 20 yards. That right there is a backbreaker for a defense. He did it in the first Super Bowl. He did it last week. When there's good coverage, you got to have someone with eyes on him.
Because he wants to throw the ball and he's a pass for you forget that he'll run, because he's not a person that just runs. He wants to get the ball out of his hands. So you treat him like he can't run. And before you know it, he then picked up 15 and stayed near the sideline and tried to pick up an extra penalty on 15 yards.
And then you see this.
I don't like that. That's equivalent to like flopping or foul baiting in basketball, where the guy come through the lane with the ball all over here, and then when somebody's over, he put his arm there. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. See,
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. And then the ref will throw the flag. See?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. That right there is wrong.
Okay.
Now that right there that's cheating the system. I'm not a fan of that. And that type of thing, like with him getting down late or him playing around on the sideline so he can pick up a penalty, that should be a delay a game or some type of offensive foul against the offense. You know what I mean? That should be something like that. That should be unsportsmanlike.
Fair. That's all I wanted.
I agree with that. I agree with that. That's some BS. I saw him do it not this past game, but the game before. I was like, man, y'all don't stop playing. Yeah. Q Super Bowl prediction. Very early.
Very early. I think the Birds will pull it out. I think we talked about it before. Fangio's record against Andy isn't very good, right?
Not the last few times that they played. He's not. He has won more than I thought that he has won. Big Fangio. Okay. But the last few times they played, he's been. The Chiefs have done well versus him.
Yeah. So I think the Birds win. I think the key matchups, obviously, they're on the field, but it's going to be Fangio versus Andy. It's going to be Kellen versus Spags. So, young versus old.
Old and then old.
Yeah. It's going to be how they prepare, what kind of schemes they do, who can one up each other. So it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see it, man. I got the Birds winning.
Tobe versus Clay is definitely a Tobe advantage, though.
Speaking of, I don't want to put him on blast too much, but Trot Senior, he need to go bring up some old footage of Harbaugh and how he used to curse us out after we make a bad play.
Oh,
on the fake punt.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if he thought it was a punt or if he saw the throw. It was weird.
No, he thought he was rushing. He wasn't. I don't know.
He was rushing to hold up, and then the guy released. So I don't know. It was just a weird play.
He was in between. It didn't look like he was. It didn't look like he was the force.
Yeah. I think he was
the force. Maybe he was the force.
I think he was rushing to hold up, and then.
But he rushed him on the outside. Like, no, you rush him down the middle and work to the outside.
Yeah, true. I don't know. The whole play looked weird, so I was wondering. I'm like, hey, man.
I don't think that he was the force guy, but to me, to the way how outside he was, you would think that was it. But that should teach him going forward is that no matter what leverage you have in the return game, you always start down the middle and then work to your possession because you want to get as much of a blow on him as you can. And if you work toward the outside right now, they can swipe you past and do exactly what he just did. But if you work through the middle, he got to go through your body, so he can't swipe you past. And then you work after you push them back to your leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Toad gonna have something ready, so.
Yep.
Yep. Clay.
You better be ready, Clay. You playing with the wizard of special teams. It's coming down the block. They got us last time. We lost the game because of a kick return or punt return in the Super Bowl. Told.
Yeah.
And our special team coach had all them damn offensive players on the field. I'm not a big fan of offensive players on special teams. I'm just not.
Can't do it.
We don't tackle. The defensive players out there. All right.
Can't wait, man. It's gonna be good.
It'll be good. All right. I got the Birds. I got the Birds winning this one, and that's my truest conviction too. That's not like, that's my truest heart there. Even though you have affiliations with both teams. I have affiliation with both teams. I think the Eagles are the superior football team. Now, does that mean that the Chiefs are going to lay down? And do I think that if the game is close, their familiarity with winning can come into the situation? So the Eagles better dominate the ball game. Dominate the ball game. You do not want to go into this game, fourth quarter, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and this game close. That's when you lose a game like this against a team that's been here so much. And situational ball comes into play, coaching comes into play, familiarity comes into play, championship pedigree comes into play. Don't do that. Dominate this ball game.
It is.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, everybody. This is the Q&A show. We appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you email your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Follow us Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Adam, Jeff, everyone at Inside the Birds. We appreciate the opportunity. Q, you got the last word.
As always, it's been a pleasure, man. Can't believe we made it back, but I'm excited for it, baby. Let's get it. See you guys.